Okay, let us get started. So I think in the yesterday's classes we were basically looking at storage account and disks and all of that stuff. All right. Okay. Today we'll start about managed disk. Azure managed disk. Right. Okay. The first thing is these disks are managed by Azure. They are highly scalable. Okay. So to understand this, Azure storage account restrictions. So this is some other accounts restriction. Okay. So now if you look at a storage account, okay, storage account has the following restrictions. Your resource manager cannot have, okay, more than 250 storage accounts per subscription. Okay. And now maximum size of storage is just 500 terabytes. Okay. I'm interested only in page blob. Okay. So maximum size of page blob, okay, individual disk is 8 terabytes. Okay. And maximum IOPS per share is 1000. So basically what is happening in a storage account is, let us assume that, okay, you have a storage account. In that storage account you have 3 disks. Okay. So these 3 disks combined, let us assume that we have 1000 IOPS. 1000 IO per second. So which is 1000 into 256 kilobytes per second read write speed. This 1000 DevOps is basically shared between these 3 disks, which is not a very good sign. Which is not a very good sign. Okay. And then upgrading the disks is possible, but downgrading the disks is not possible in storage account. So for example, you have gone to the premium storage. Now, if you want to come back to the standard storage, it is not possible. You cannot do that. Okay, because the account itself is different. Okay, then you have to go with the hard ways of doing it. So Microsoft has decided that they want to put an end to all of this. That's the reason they have came up with something called as Azure Managed Disks. Okay, so in Azure Managed Disk, they support, okay, disk performance tiers. They support standard. They support premium, and they support something called as ultra disks also. Okay, right. But let us go ahead and try to create one virtual machine. Okay, experiment. Create a VM with managed disk, and if you see, managed disk is a default option. Okay, now if I go to resource groups, okay, so I'll go ahead and add a resource group. Okay, so let me call it as managed disk demo, and let me select central US. Okay, Now you go to the resource groups. From here you can click on add and then say virtual machine, whatever virtual machine which you want to create. I want to create a Ubuntu server. You can create a Windows one also, that's fine. But for now it doesn't matter what is the operating system which you want to create. Okay. So I'll call it as Qt DevOps. And here it is. Central US. Now, as I said yesterday, number of data disks which you can have and what is your temporary disk storage is dependent on what is the machine which you are trying to select. Now, if you see in this machine, I get a maximum IOPS of 320. This is ending with yes. So premium disk is supported. Okay, if the name doesn't end with yes, you will not have a premium disk support. Okay, right. And then temporary storage is 4 GB and you can add 2 data disks to it. So let me select it. Okay, I'll go with password. Okay, I'm interested in disks. Now if you go with disks, okay, if you see in premium disks, we have a default size, we have something called as P4, we have something called as P6. Okay, so P6 is a free tier eligible one. Okay, you can resize till 2 terabytes. Okay, so let me go over here and then premium disk sizes Azure. Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, let me go with the premium disk storage. Right, so if you go over here, I have P1 option, P2 option and P3 option, which is start. And if you look at denotes that the size is currently in preview. Preview means it might not, it is still under development. But if you look at P4 is a 32 GB disk. We get 120 per disk, 120 IOPS, 120 into 256 Mbps per second. And this is a throughput. I'll speak about what bursting is, right? At this moment, just don't worry about bursting. Okay, bursting and reservations are two things which I need to speak about. Now, if you go into this, okay, we have disk still size P80 and P80 is 32,767 GB. IOPS is 20,000 IOPS. This is a throughput which you get. Okay, right. So these are the kinds of disks which Microsoft gives you. These are fixed available disks are available in particular sizes. Now, if you go down, if you go with standard, okay, standard disk also will give you some numbers. But over here, the only difference between premium and standard is premium will have consistent speed, whereas standard will have up to speed. Okay. Now, when it comes to HDD, HDD is generally known for huge sizes and all that stuff. Okay, if you want a disk which is of huge size and still want to reduce the stuff. Okay. Now you get into ultra disk. Okay. So ultra disks are basically for very high IOPS. So wherever you have too much of what do you call where do you have too much of IO operations to be done, and ultra disks are supported only on this instance types. Now in this instance types, what you can do is you can create something called as Azure Ultra Disks. Okay, so Azure Ultra Disks can be created in this way. Okay, but Ultra Disks are very costly. They are used only in the specific case. But for now, we might not require that. For now, we might not require that. Okay, right. So we'll be worrying about premium. In premium, you will have disk sizes. So I'm quite sure now we know what the SSDs are. Okay, Okay, I might be giving Windows SSD types. You can do the same thing for Linux also. All right. Generally, there is no need for us to remember any of this. Okay, but understand one thing in what do you call in Azure, you will have fixed disk sizes. Standard SSD, refer here, and we don't have HDD in premium. Okay, HDD, refer. Okay, fine. If in case required, then you have to go with the other machine type. In B1S, you cannot go more than 2 data disks. If you require more disks, you have to find a different machine size. That's how Azure works. Am I clear, Money? Yeah. Okay. Right. So while creating a managed disk, you will have options. Now, if you don't want premium, you can go with standard SSD. Okay. You can go with standard SSD, or you can go with standard HDD. Okay. While creating, you can create and attach a new disk, because we have 2 data disks. You can create and attach. Then it is asking what is the size of the data disk which you want. So you can give whatever size that makes sense to you. So if you see, we are seeing all the different types. So you can say that I don't want premium, I want standard SSD. And now you can select whatever disk size which you want. Okay, right. So let me try to give a custom size 33. Will it allow? Yes, it does allow it. But if you see, it has gone to this. Okay, now let me select, I want 20. Sorry, seeing the focus has gone to this. So it will try to find the nearest disk tier. Okay, it doesn't mean that you cannot create a custom size. Okay, for example, even if you say 1 GB, it will stick to this. But if you say 100, the nearest to 100 is 128. If you see that it is going to that disk size. Okay, so you can create a custom size disk. Okay, but the maximum size is this. Maximum size is this. Okay, so right now I'll go with a 1 GB disk. 1 GB disk. Okay, I'll click on OK. Now I have a standard SSD which I'll be selecting over here. Okay, then let me click on review and create. Okay, so let us create this machines, then I'll show you where these disks are available in Linux. In Windows, they are very simple. There will be C drive, D drive, E drive. These will be the drives. The difficult part is for Linux machines. That's the reason why I'll basically show you how to do it. Okay, so create a VM with manage disk and one data disk of size 1 GB. Now, if you see, my machine has all the types. Okay, if you observe, okay, as of now, our VM is attached to, okay, we have a OS disk. Okay, we have a data disk. Anyway, we have a temporary disk. Okay, temporary disk for B1S is of size 4 GB. So for my machine, all the 3 disk sizes are attached. Let this machine be created and then we can see the stuff. You can do the same stuff for Windows machine also, but I am not doing Windows machine because in Windows machine it is very simple. If you open your my computer section or this PC section, you will be seeing drives, C drive, D drive and E drive, and it will be very easy to identify which drive is what for you. Yeah, am I clear? Guys, I need feedback, man. I don't have anyone in the room to if you right till we are in this mode, please tend to give me feedback. It helps me. It is not for your benefit, it is for my benefit, which I'm asking. Yeah. Okay. Now, if I go to the disk section, I should see two disks over here. Okay. So one is a managed disk, right? The other one is a data disk. Managed disk will be by default of size 30 GB and data disk is of size 1 GB. Okay. So right now we don't have encryption, but if you want, we can do the encryption also, but it's okay. We'll worry about encryption at a later point of time. Okay. Right. Okay. Now let me log in into this machine. Okay. Understand we have taken B1S. We have taken B1S and B1S has okay 4 GB of temporary storage. So SSH qt devops at the rate IP address right. And now let me execute a simple command called as sudo ls blk list block devices. List block devices. So are you saying let me go with snip and sketch. I'll take a new snip and sketch. Okay, right. So if you see, we had a 30 GB. Okay, we have a 30 GB OS disk, and then it is mounted to root drive. So in Linux, whenever you are working with CD slash, okay, which is your root drive, this is all from the disk, which is your OS disk, which is your OS disk. Now just look into this. There is something called as slash mnt sled slash mnt. Now if you look at what is over here, this is basically your temporary disk. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me copy this image and make the changes in the MS Paint so that it is easier. Okay, all right. So now, okay, this is OS disk. Okay, so OS disk is divided into two parts. One is mounted onto the root, the other one is mounted onto the boot EFI. Okay, so 1 minute, man. I wrote it right. Fine. I'll directly write it. Okay. So this is OS disk. All right. And this is okay. And this is your temporary disk. Okay. And at the last we have added 1 GB. which is this. Okay, so this 1 GB is your data disk. Now if you see, data disk is not mounted anywhere. Data disk is not mounted anywhere. Now you have to do your Linux skills and you have to know about Linux on how to mount and all of that stuff, right? So I'll give you one article. I'll do it in the classroom, but I'll give you one article. Mounting data disk on Linux Azure. Okay, right. Okay. Now, in the case of Linux, okay, OS disks and data disks or temporary disks are already mounted. Temporary disks are already mounted. As a user, you are supposed to mount data disks. Okay, so refer here for Linux mounting. Okay, let me do for Windows also. Windows is very much simple. Windows will be very much image based. Okay, so if you go to the Windows, after you go into the Windows, you have to open this disk management and you have to basically follow this. Okay, Windows is very much simple. Okay, refer here for Windows. Let us do it for Linux first. Now in the Linux, see what is it trying to tell. Okay, for sorry, Linux VM. In the Linux, what it tries to tell is, once you basically go and add a disk in your machine, okay, or you attach an existing disk, okay, so once you can execute this DMEG, it will try to tell you what are the disks. Okay, then if you want, you can partition the disk. Okay, so partitioning the disk can be done with the help of fdisk command. Okay, then once you have done your partition, then you can basically create mkfs. Okay, so now this is the first command which I would do. It is not required for you to partition also. If you don't like that idea, there is no need for you to do the partition as well. Okay, right. So then it is asking, okay, what is that you want to do? Okay, there are many stuffs over here. Okay, so do you want to toggle a bootable flag? Do you want to delete a partition? Do you want to add a new partition? Okay, you just follow this document. If you are new to this, he will try to tell that enter ns create a new partition. Okay, then primary partition. Okay, then it asks for partition number from 1 to 4. What is that you want to use? So I want to use 1. Okay, so first sector, okay, use default value. Okay, so last sector also is using a default value. Okay, that's it, done. Okay, now if you want to look at your partitions, try typing p. He tries to tell you that the primary partition is created and this is the size of your stuff. Okay, now once you have basically done this, if you have done this partition, fine. Okay, now see what is the partition name which we got. We got the partition name as dev/sdc1. Okay, so m in m there is something called as queue without saving changes. Write the table to the disk and save changes and exit. So I'll be using double. Okay, now if you I do sudo ls blk command, which I've used earlier. So are you saying there is sdb or sdc1? Okay, now you have to create a file system, sudo mkfs. This is formatting. -t ext4, very popular file system on Linux. Dev slash sdc1. Okay. Now let me go ahead and create a folder called as makedir. In the root, I'll call it as data disk. Okay. So I can execute it with sudo. Right. Now I will try to mount sudo mount hyphen. Okay. There's no need of -t. Dev slash sdc1 to slash data disk. Now, if you basically execute sudo ls blk, sorry, saying there is, it is mounted to data disk. And now if you come down, he will also speak about, once you have done this, if you want to may add these entries, you can go into fs tab and basically store that. I'm not going to do all of that. Okay, so refer this article. Okay, for the people for whom all of this is new, there is no need for you to worry about. We will discuss about this in our foundation classes. What is this mounting, what is this disk types and all of that stuff in Linux machines. But the whole idea which I want you to understand is, if you add a data disk, formatting that data disk and mounting the data disk will be your choice. If you are creating an empty data disk, if you are creating an empty data disk. Okay, so now let me go over here, select this option, save this. Good, fortunately we are in Azure itself. Okay, all right, preview dot slash images slash az storage 10 dot png. Okay, you try to do the same activity for Windows today, you will know the stuff. Why should we format the disk? Because the disk which we have created is an empty disk or a new disk or a new disk. And whenever you create a new disk, will it have any file system? Ashravan, I'm asking to your question itself. When we create a new disk, will it have any file system? If we don't have any file system, can I use that disk? No, right? So for that reason, I am formatting the disk and I'm creating a file system in that, okay, with ext4. If it was a Windows machine, I would have formatted it with NTFS. If it was a Windows machine, I would have formatted with NTFS. I am quite sure that many people in the classroom have formatted your pen drives with FAT32. Yeah. So yes, that's the reason. Okay, fine. Am I clear on this? So can we attach disks now? Okay. So attaching disk is good. Okay, right. Now let me go into my Azure portal. Okay. I'll get into my disks again. Okay. So in my disks, let me see if I can change the sizes of the disk. I'll select this disk. Can I select the change the size of the disk? Okay. So configuration. So what is it? It is disabled. Okay. Fine. Okay. Let me get into the virtual machine. Let me get into disks. Okay. Let me go over here and let me get into the configuration. Okay. So what is happening over here? The disk cannot be changed once it is created. Okay. But let me do one more thing now. I'll go to virtual machines. Okay. If you remember, our virtual machine's name was Qt DevOps. Okay. So I'm stopping this virtual machine. But understand one thing: when I stop, our slash data disk will not be loaded again. You have to manually load it because it is not persistent. Okay. So to do FS step, let me stop the disk, stop the virtual machine. After the virtual machine is stopped, I'll go back to the disk section and then I'll see if I can resize the disks. Let us wait for this machine to be stopped. Once it is stopped, let me see if we can resize it. Yeah. So it is stopped, right? Now let me get into this machine. This machine will have disks. Okay. Now let me go into Qt DevOps disk. I'll get into configuration. Can I change the disk now? Yeah. Yes. To make on the fly disks in Azure cannot be resized. It is not possible. Okay, that is possible in AWS, but not in Azure. In Azure, you have to stop your machines. Yeah. Okay. So I can change it to any stuff now. So I don't want 30 GB. I want 35 GB. Make it as 35 GB. Okay. So I go over here. Okay. I go to configuration. I have 1 GB of storage. Okay. I can make it to 2 GB. Save. Okay. If you want, you can move from standard to premium also. Right. I'll go to virtual machines. Qt DevOps. Start the machine. Am I clear on this? Okay. Disks attached to the virtual machines cannot be resized when the virtual machine is running. Let us see whether it is started. Yeah, it is started. Let me take this IP address. Okay. SSH Qt DevOps @ yes. Okay, fine then. Now sudo ls blk. Now what is happening over here? It is still showing you 1023 megabytes. Why? Because this is a partition which you have created. Okay. So, but if you see at this SDC, it is 2 GB. If you see at this SDC, it is 2 GB. You can go and create your own partition again using the same command what was present in the documentation. So for example, you can go it with fdisk dev/sdc. Then it will ask what is the number of partition. You can tell my partition number is 2 and then create a second partition. Okay. There will be downtime in this case. Yes, there will be a downtime. There will be a downtime. Yes. Okay. Fine. Am I clear on this? So can you repeat the same activity for Windows? Okay. So for Windows, what happens is in Windows, there will be server manager, and in server manager, basically you will be seeing storage devices, right? Or you can directly go with disk management. If you go into disk management, all of your disk will appear over here. Okay. Disk 0, disk 1, and disk 2. Disk 0 will be your OS disk. Disk 1 might be your temporary disk. Disk 2 might be your data disk. And from here, you can create multiple partitions into that. Clear on that? Okay. Windows, I'm not doing. I expect you to do that by following the documentation. Can I expect that? Is that okay? Will you try it? Yeah, try it out. If you are unable to do, you just try to tell me out. I'll show it. Right, Windows is very simple. The only time that takes over there is creating a Windows machine. That's it. Right. Okay. Fine. Now let me speak about two interesting concepts of this. Okay. So the one is reservations. Disks can be reserved long term in Azure, and you can save the costs of the disk. Okay, so shall we look at managed disk pricing? Okay, I'll go into Azure pricing calculator. Okay, then I would tell that I'm interested in storage, and in storage, where is it? Okay, or example scenarios. This is fine. I should have disks, man. Not sure why I'm unable to find it. Okay, let me select a virtual machine in that case. And just for the sake of it, I'll go into the virtual machine. Okay, this is a virtual machine's cost. That is fine. Let me get into managed disk. Now, if you see over here, I have a managed disk. Okay, then you're trying to tell what is your managed disk. Let me go with some S option, premium storage. B1S, good. Then I'll say that I want a premium SSD, and then I might. I'm just putting it as 4 GB. Okay, so if you go with 4 GB of storage, okay, how many disks do you want? I want one disk. What is the cost of it? $495 for this. Okay, the disk which you are trying to create is a 4 terabyte disk and all of that stuff. Okay, I have not added backups yet. I'll speak about backups in a little bit. Okay, in a little bit for time right now. Okay, there are still some more things to be. I don't want storage account here. Okay, what is this? Azure functions. I'm not interested. Okay, I'm definitely interested in premium disks. Okay, right. Now, if you basically look at this, what is the cost which you're trying to get? You're trying to get a disk which is of size 4 terabytes, 7,500 IOPS for 495. What is this? P50. Now let me go to the same P50 over here. Premium SSD, and are you seeing P50? In P50, are you seeing there is something called as eligible for reservation? Eligible for reservation. Okay, so from P30 onwards you are eligible up to reservation. So what do I mean by this reservation? What will happen with this reservation? Okay, so in Azure there is a chance of reserving a disk. Reserving a disk. So when you reserve the disk, basically what happens is, okay, so you can basically go into the Azure portal and then say that, okay, I want a Azure managed disk, and you try to tell whether you want to use this disk for a single subscription or a multi subscription or whatever it is. Okay, and then you would basically try to tell what is that billing mode which you want to pay. And the whole point is, once you basically do this activity, okay, you will save the cost for your virtual machines. You will save the cost for your virtual machines. Okay, so basically reservations can be save the cost for the disk if the reservation is save the cost of the disk. Okay. This requires the disk to be of size at least P30, at least P30. Okay. And reservation for up to 1 year, a reservation for 1 year. Okay. Now, when you reserve your disk for 1 year, you will be paying less cost. Okay. But along with reservation, you have to select scope. This is a new feature, right? The scope is whatever disk which you are trying to create. Do you want to allow it for across one subscription or multiple subscriptions? Okay. Or across a resource group. So basically, when you say that I want to use this subscription only within this resource group, then you will get further discount. If you would try to tell that I'll be using this disk across my subscriptions, your discount might be reduced. Okay. But you can save. Okay. Up to, right, 50% of the disk costs by switching to reservation. Switching to reservations. Okay. So as a cost saving measure, it is a good idea for you to go with reservations. To go with reservations. Okay. So what will reservations do? Reservation will basically reduce your cost. Okay. So uh, for example, okay, uh, what is it is not, yeah. If I have pay as you go subscription and for this activity, how much I will be charged? Don't even test this activity because you have to pay for the whole year. You are giving a commitment for the whole year. This is something which you need to speak for or do for your uh, what do you call in your organizational accounts. I'm just want to check this reservations, Azure reservations, because for storage the discount is huge, whether it is at a disk level. Let me just check it. Azure disk reservations. Mm, okay. Azure reservation. What are covered in Azure? There are many things that are covered in Azure reservation. What is eligible? Scope reservation, single resource group, single subscription, shared scope. Okay. Uh, okay. I'll. I'm not sure. You will whether it is 50% for the whole thing. They promise you can save till 71%. Disk exactly what is the percentage which you will get. I'll try to tell it. I'm just removing this part. Okay. You can save the disk costs. Okay. So I'm not sure whether it was 50% because overall it is 51% what you can save, but that has many services in here. Okay. So for Azure reservations, refer here. Okay, so I'm giving you this whole reservation stuff. Okay, if okay, Azure storage reserved capacity. Okay, so he's trying to tell that suppose you have purchased 100 TB of reserved capacity for 1 year term, your reservation is locally redundant tier, fine. Okay, suppose if you are given or you are using only 180 TB, the remaining 20 TB is not applied for that hour and does not carry for it. Okay, overusing the capacity. Assume the cost of the reservation is okay. He has not spoken about a discount, man. Exactly what is the discount which you'll be getting? Let me find it out. Let me find it out. I'll do that. Okay, right. Let me not trouble the stuff over here. Okay, right. And then we have something called as snapshots. Okay, snapshot is nothing but backup of your disk. You can go to your disk. Okay, select your disk. Okay, are you saying create snapshot? So if you click on create snapshot, basically what is happening is a backup of your disk, which is a full backup, is basically happening. Okay, right. I'll try to go into what was it? Manage disk demo. Let me call this as test backup. Okay, storage type, he's asking whether you want zone redundant, premium, standard. I'll try to tell zone redundant. So create a snapshot and click on create. And now what is happening is your disk's backup is getting created. Okay, and this backup is basically something which we call as snapshots. Okay, but there is a better way of taking snapshots in Azure. Okay, we'll be discussing about that. Okay. But before that, going to that area, I just wanted to show you individual disks. Can I take a backup? Yes, the answer is yes. For that, you need to create a snapshot. So if you go, snapshot is this is the individual disks backup. Okay, am I clear on this? Snapshot is full backups of the disks. You can make it incremental also, but we will get into this backup area in extremely easier way, right? But full backup of the disk can be created with snapshots, and this is what we will start our next class with, backup. Okay, of snapshots, how to make these snapshots incremental, how this whole stuff works, and then we will get into the other storage areas. Okay, and then at the last we will speak about disaster recovery. How do you take backups at a storage account level, at an individual disk level, and then if in case of some disasters, how do you recover them? So that will be our next agenda, right? So we will continue this discussion in our next class, right? uh, Priyanka, is it not shared? I think I'll speak with the team, but you can give them a call. Okay. I'm quite sure that because I have given the instruction saying that share the recording with everyone, whether you are a classroom student or an online student. Will snapshot create on a different server? Obviously, yes, it has to be on a different server. Yeah. Incremental daily backup. How is it done? Uh, सैयद साहब उसके बारे में हम लोग कल बात करते हैं ना। कल स्नैपशॉट के बारे में बात करेंगे, उसके बाद और एक अच्छा तरीका है, आसान तरीका है, तब सीख लेंगे उसको। Can we schedule the snapshots? The answer is yes, you can schedule, but there is a better way around it. You don't need to do this route. There is a far better way of taking backups and restoring. Okay, we have something called as Azure Site Recovery. We'll be learning that. Yeah, yeah. In today's class, what are we can perform in cloud with free subscriptions? Just okay, your disk is free. Just try to create a disk which is of 64 GB size. If you go to yesterday, I think I've shown you that. If you want to understand what is free for you, just click on this free. Okay. So if you see over here, Azure Managed Disk, you can create 264 GB disks for free. And I think there will be some snapshots also. Okay. Snapshot. Okay. I think snapshot is free, man, but I'm not sure how much. Okay. Okay, probably you might be charging for a snapshot. That's it. You might be charged for a snapshot. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay then. I'll stop it at that. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. So we'll continue our discussion with snapshots tomorrow. Resource groups.